What's going on, everybody in Mass Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing the first impressions of the Redmi Note 9S. Stay tuned. So Mass Squad, as I said in the intro of this video here, this is going to be the Redmi Note 9S first impressions. So before I discuss how I feel about this actual phone here, I want to talk about the internal specifications that come inside this device here. So with the Redmi Note 9S, you get the Snapdragon 720 inside, which is not the core chipset. You also get 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage, and out of the box, the device is going to be running Android 10. Now in the back of the Redmi Note 9S, you get 4 cameras. And you heard me correctly, that's 4, a quad camera setup. You get a 48 megapixel primary camera, which is a wide angle. You get an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera. You get a 5 megapixel macro lens, which is really good, by the way. And you also get a 5 megapixel depth camera, or telephoto, whatever. I don't really use that one per se. I'm going to be focusing mostly on the wide angle and ultra wide cameras, but the macro camera is pretty cool as well. Now with that 48 megapixel camera sensor on the rear, it does get cropped down to 12 megapixel images, so keep that in mind. But you also get an option to use the 48 megapixel full quality mode in the camera options. Continuing on with the specs here, the device also has a fingerprint scanner on the side, has volume up and down keys right above, of course, and then you also have a full HD plus display. And you also have a circle cutout for your selfie camera, which is a 16 megapixel shooter. On the other side, you get a micro SD card slot for expandable storage. And on the bottom of the device, you get a headphone jack, which is a positive. You get USB Type-C, and you also get a loudspeaker. This device does not feature dual speakers. So with a device that has the Snapdragon 720 inside, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs internal storage, a full HD plus display, 4 cameras on the rear, you're probably wondering, what is the size of the battery? The battery size for the Redmi Note 9S is 5,020 milliamp hours. It's a little bit bigger than the Moto G Power. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little excited about that because I'm gonna put these batteries to the test and compare them to each other. So Mass Squad, there are 3 things that I think make the Redmi Note 9S stand out more than the other budget devices on the market today. And those 3 things are the camera, the battery, and the processor inside. And you know what? I'm gonna add a 4th thing, price. So enough of me talking about the internal specifications of the device. Let me go ahead and talk about the actual performance. So as I said earlier, the device does come shipped with Android 10 with MIUI on the top of it here. Now I'm not too much of a fan of MIUI. It's not really like a skin that I've used before, of course, but I am a person that prefers the Pixel launcher if I had a choice. And the MIUI is, it gets the job done, but it's not nothing that I prefer. I am happy that it does have the Google Now cards to the left of the home screen here, so you can always get to that. So doing your typical things on this device. For me, typical things can include taking pictures, editing photos, downloading pictures, all kind of stuff, watching YouTube videos on Netflix, on Twitch, doing a whole bunch of things all at once. And one of the main things about this device that I like the most, as far as performance goes, is the fact that it plays games really well. And particularly Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty Mobile has been an addiction of mine over the past week and a half. Since I made the gaming video for the Moto G Power, I've been playing Call of Duty Mobile non-stop, and I'm actually at like a level 22 now. So yeah, when it comes to all that stuff, the device performs extremely well, better than my Moto G Power for sure. Now there has been some hiccups with this device. So for example, if I go to my Google Now cards and try to swipe up and down, or slide up and down, it will be a little bit of lag in there. And I do notice sometimes that when I use my G Power, right next to the Redmi Note, I do notice some stutter with the Redmi Note. Now it's not all the time, it's just something that does happen, just to go and show you that, even a device that has a better processor inside, it's not necessarily going to perform better than the phone that's better optimized. It's just how it is. But one thing for sure is that with you having the Snapdragon 720 inside, along with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, you're going to have great battery life. This device battery life is amazing, and I think it's better for sure than the Moto G Power. So yes, the battery life is amazing, and I have some screenshots on the actual device. I'm gonna show them the B-roll here. I was able to get 8 hours, 38 minutes of screen on time, and I had 32% of battery left. I have another one, just wait. Now this is another one here where I had 9 hours and 55 minutes of screen on time, and I had 20% battery left. And another one here, this is pretty much the same test. I had 11 hours, 18 minutes of screen on time with 9% battery left. So when it comes to just how long a device can actually run on the same charge, the Redmi Note 9S is among the best battery life I've ever had on a device, period. Better than the G7 Power last year, better than the Moto G Power. If you have anything different, let me know in the comment section below, but that's been my experience. Now with the Redmi Note 9S here, I did get a chance to use a cutout benchmark on the device, and I got a score of 252,363. Over 100,000 more points than what my Moto G Power got. I'm not going to compare it to my flagship per se. I just want to compare it to a budget phone or a phone that costs a little bit more. I think it makes sense to compare those two directly because they're in the same price category. Now with the Geekbench 5 numbers, I got about a 562 for the single core score, and I got a 1,722 for the multi-core score. And just to put things into perspective, I got the G Power right here. I got a single core score of 309 and a multi-core score of 1,263. So this device only works on GSM carriers. If you're a Verizon customer or a Sprint customer, stay away from this phone. Otherwise, you will be pretty upset when you try to put your SIM card inside of it and realize it doesn't work. Cameras, 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 cameras. I said it 4 times because the device features a quad camera setup on the back that's capable of shooting 4K video along with 1080p 60 frames per second. And you can also use those video recording resolutions in macro mode. Now, when it comes to using the ultra wide angle camera, you can only shoot in 1080p 30 frames per second, but I'm not really too surprised by that because the device is budget. And I had to kind of put this camera, because it's so good, right underneath my LG G8 Thin Q, because after using it for a couple days, video quality, picture taking quality from portraits to the macro lens, the camera is just on another level. I was really surprised with how good this camera is. And if you want to see a detailed review or overview of the actual camera of the Redmi Note 9S, there will be a camera review video on the channel, and I will link it below. And also, if you're a person that uses your smartphone as a remote, the Redmi Note 9S has an IR blaster. So if you need a remote really quickly, or if you're out in public somewhere just want to use it to change the channel or whatnot, you have that option with the Redmi Note 9S. So let's go ahead and sum up the Redmi Note 9S here. You get a 6.67-inch Full HD Plus display with a cutout for the actual selfie camera. So a modern looking phone. You get a Snapdragon 720. You get 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage, USB Type-C, headphone jack, loudspeaker, quad camera setup in the back, and you also get a 5,000 milliamp hour battery at the price of 220 bucks. That's not a deal you can usually pass up on, and I myself, as you see, I couldn't do it. I had to get one. So Mask Squad, let me know in the comment section below, do you think the Redmi Note 9S is appropriately priced? Do you think it should be a little bit more based on the internal specifications that it has? I think it's a good price. I think it's actually a steal. And then, if you have the Redmi Note 9S, what do you think of the cameras? So consider liking the video so that other people just like you can get a little bit of help when they're researching budget phones like the Redmi Note 9S. And also consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any future coverage of the Redmi Note 9S or any other budget device that I decide to bring to the channel. And Mask Squad, one more thing, please share this video with your friends and family and let them know that not all Android cameras suck. It is just not true. But until then, my name is Max Rock. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good day, y'all. Deuces.